What's up, soul family, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's pick a card, we are going to be channeling some messages from your inner child, but also for your inner child, if that makes sense. So before we get started, if you guys are interested in booking a personal tarot reading with me, you guys can book with me on my Etsy shop. The link to do so will be available down in the description box below, you guys. And if you're feeling generous and would like to offer a tip or a donation to keep my channel growing and thriving, you guys can check out all of my payment information down below, as well as my Amazon deck wish list. All of that information will be down in the description box, you guys. And without further ado, we're going to go on ahead and jump into your pile choices now. Alrighty, you guys, so here are the three groups that you have to choose from today. We have group number 1 with You've Got Time, group number 2 with Your Treasure Is at Hand, and group number 3 with Start Where You Are. So go on ahead and take a moment to choose the pile that you feel the most drawn to today, you guys. Pause the video if you need a little bit more time to choose, and whenever you are ready, I will meet you at your reading. The timestamps for each card will be available down in the description box below for your convenience. Hello to all of the beautiful souls who have chosen group number 1 with You've Got Time, you guys. So what messages does your inner child have for you? So tapping into the energy of your inner child, I see that you guys were the dreamers, okay? You guys really did have very vivid imaginations as a child. And I feel like one thing that your inner child wants to say is that they would like for your adult self to attempt tapping into that a little bit more. So whether you like to color, you like to draw, or you just like to do things like maybe even playing playing house or something along those lines, like things that allowed you to activate your imagination. I feel like your inner child wants you to kind of play a little bit more, if that makes sense. And you can do so with playing with maybe your own children if you guys have children, or even just doing things that you used to do when you were a child. So we do start off the reading with the Knight of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. So I feel like some of you guys like to watch movies, like maybe Disney movies. Maybe you guys really like Disney princesses and stuff like that. The Knight of Cups and the Six of Pentacles indicates that you guys were very much dreamers. Like, a lot of you may have dreamed of things like getting married and falling in love from a very, very young age by watching Cinderella, or, you know, watching Disney princesses on the big screen. I mean, I know I did for sure. And I feel like a lot of you guys want, like, your inner child, it's like they kind of want to come out and say, like, I hope that I have that one day. I hope I get to experience that one day. Your inner child wants literally to be treated like a princess or a prince, if that makes sense, you know? And so they kind of viewed, it's like that younger version of yourself views you as the king or the queen now that you are older, and wants to remind you that you deserve to be treated as such. And the thing about you guys is that, yes, you guys were very imaginative as children, but you were also very intuitive as well with the High Priestess card and the Justice card. A lot of the times you guys may not have necessarily understood exactly how intuitive you were. Some of you guys had psychic gifts. Maybe you were able to see into the spirit realm from a very young age, and you were able to detect when people had bad intentions towards either yourself or other people that you loved, with the High Priestess and the Justice card here. And I also feel like you guys were always very divinely guided and protected. You know, maybe at times things didn't necessarily go your way, and that's because, you know, even as a child you were being divinely guided and protected, and I feel like, you know, a lot of the times you might have felt uncomfortable around certain people, but with the High Priestess card, that just goes to show that you were right about a lot of situations, you guys. And with the Justice card, I feel like a lot of the times you did get the justice that you deserved in certain situations, even if you didn't necessarily get a chance to see that. And what I mean by that is, like, if somebody wanted to be mean and push you down on the playground, like later on that day, they probably would have fallen down and hurt themselves in some way, shape, or form. Like, that's just an example. But with the Justice card, I see that, you know, a lot of people might have gotten some type of karma for the way in which they treated you. And I also feel like you guys went above and beyond as children to make sure that everybody else had fun, everybody had a good time. I feel like you guys were the kids that were always fair and just to others, you know, on the playground. Maybe you really tried to make sure that nobody got left out, you know. And with the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Wands, so I don't know why I'm hearing like to infinity and beyonds, like from Toy Story. Maybe some of you guys like to watch Toy Story. That was like a really good movie that you guys liked to watch and connect to. A lot of you guys might have actually thought your toys got up and did the things that they did in Toy Story, like your toys would talk. Some of you guys are getting a vision of y'all trying to peek back into your room to make sure that your toys are not actually alive. That's one thing that I'm getting. But also with the Eight of Swords here, I feel like a lot of you guys felt trapped. A lot of you guys felt confined by your everyday, your reality, and like your 3D world. And like sometimes it's like you just wanted to shoot off like a rocket, you know, and explore and kind of explore with your imagination. And I feel like your inner child is saying that's something that they still want to do, if that makes sense. And I feel like, you know, a lot of the adults around you might have blocked off a lot of what you wanted to say, or because it was like written off as unrealistic. And so a lot of your dreams might have died from a very young age, and your inner child is coming forward and saying like, no, like, let's keep them alive. With the Princess of Swords here, I feel like, you know, a lot of the times you guys might have been blocked off, but I feel like your inner child is kind of saying like, we should block off those thoughts and those ideas that prevent us from feeling like we can have the things that we want and we can experience the things that we want, you know. Your inner child is very adamant about that. And with the Strength card, like some of you guys might have actually liked animals, you know. So these, since I'm tapping into a very childlike energy, the messages are kind of coming through very sporadically, if that makes sense. So in this particular case, I feel like some of you guys might have liked animals. You might have liked tigers. You might have been fascinated by like zebras. You might have liked going to the zoo. And I feel like that's another thing your inner child is saying, like, let's do more of that, even as adults. Like, let's connect to this younger version of ourselves and not think about it. The Eight of Wands is a very impulsive energy. It's like, let's not think about it. Let's just do it. And I feel like, you know, when you were younger, it's like all these adults might have set these super hyper realistic expectations on you. Like, okay, we can't do that, honey, because, you know, that's not real. That's not something that could happen. And you know what I mean? Like how adults can sometimes kind of kill your dreams as a child. And I feel like your inner child is saying like, let's not let them mess with our inspiration, you know, if that makes sense. So we also have time for a love fest. So I can see that I feel like a lot of you guys from childhood, you guys had dreams of love and had dreams of like the type of friends that you wanted to be surrounded by, the types of relationships you wanted to experience, even if like I said, they're not really that realistic. But I feel like in a way you're being encouraged to still kind of hold some of those standards that you had when you were a child, when it comes to imagining who your prince is going to be or who your princess is going to be, or maybe even who your friends are going to be. And also to kind of tap back into that energy of unconditional love. And I'm seeing a lot of purple here. So I feel like you guys had a very wild and vivid third eye when you were younger. And that might even be the case for you guys still. So like your inner child is very much encouraging you to still allow your imagination to roam free, if that makes sense. And lastly, we have things are about to get really juicy. So with that being said, I'm just getting an energy of excitement here from you guys. It's like your inner child was so imaginative and so excited for the future, very, very spontaneous and just ready for whatever. And I feel like something that your inner child kind of wants, like really needs to know is like, you do have time and you have your whole life ahead of you and there's no need to rush. And to be honest with you, time is an illusion that only exists in this dimension. And I feel like that's kind of something that your inner child just wanted to care less about, if that makes sense. So I also did channel some very sporadic messages. I wrote them down as I was pulling the cards and they came through pretty randomly. So these messages may or may not resonate for you guys, but the ones I wrote down is there's no need to rush, be here and now. So your inner child very much like to be in the present moment. We have adults can be wrong too, okay? See how these adults around you, they kind of blocked out your ideas. And I feel like that's something that will really help you guys because, you know, maybe you guys really, the people that you looked up to, they kind of crushed your dreams from time to time. I don't really think a lot of them meant to do this, but I feel like, you know, that's kind of saying, you know, like they were wrong. Just because they said that they can't have that or because they didn't have that in their experience doesn't mean that I can't have that in mine, you know? We have I've never deserved to feel that way. We have I was right. I was right. So like I said, you guys have this intuition about you guys. You've always had this intuition, and a lot of the times it was written off by this Princess of Swords in your life. You know, it could have been like your mom or your dad, or maybe even your teachers, like just somebody who was like hyper realistic and was just messing up your imagination, you guys. We have I am allowed to make mistakes. Okay, I am allowed to make mistakes. They will get what they deserve. They should have listened to me. Okay, I will experience love in real life. I am not weird for dreaming. And I love myself and my imagination. So those are some of, you know, some affirmations and things that, you know, will really bring a lot of healing to your inner child. And I feel like, you know, a lot of the times you guys might get these ideas or these intuitive hunches and as adults, and you might be very quick to shut them down because that's kind of what happened when you were a child. And then later on you find that those ideas and those intuitive hunches, like, you were actually right. So your overall message is, 1, don't shut down your ideas. 2, don't shut down your imagination. You are welcome to dream as freely as you want to, because although there might be some limitations here in the 3D, you know, like, when you really tap back into that imagination and that limitless creative power and that limitless creative potential, you really are like setting yourself up to manifest your dream life. I once saw a TikTok, and I'm gonna leave you guys off with this last message. I saw a TikTok of a girl, I don't remember who it was, but she was saying that children need to be taught to manifest at a very, very young age because they don't have any barriers surrounding what they can and can't do. Like, their imagination, they're so free. Those barriers kind of get put on us, like, as we're growing and as we grow into adults. That's why children need to be taught to manifest from a very, very young age. And I feel like that is something that you guys really tried to do subconsciously. And so, you know, your overall message is to keep doing that, you guys. Don't let nobody shut yourself down. Like, don't let nobody shut you down, and don't let nobody shut your dreams down, okay? No matter how unrealistic they might be, you are allowed to dream, and you're not weird for doing that, okay? And sometimes you might have to keep some of your dreams to yourself, and that's completely okay, you know, until they manifest to fruition. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope that message was helpful. If you guys are interested in booking a personal tarot reading with me, you guys can book with me on my Etsy shop. The link to do so will be available down in the description box below, you guys. If you are feeling generous and would like to make a donation to my channel, all of my payment information as well as my Amazon deck wish list is available down in the description box below, you guys. And lastly, we have notes from the universe on love and connection and the Mystic Mondays tarot deck that we used for today's reading. If you'd like to purchase one of these decks for yourself, my Amazon affiliate link is down below as well, you guys, so that you can purchase one of these decks or any of the other decks I use on my channel for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye. Hello to all of my beautiful people who have chosen group number 2, and welcome to your reading, you guys. You guys chose the Your Treasure is at Hand card. Okay, so I got a very interesting message for you guys, and honestly it was very specific. And I feel like it was pretty heavy as well. So your inner child, I feel like a lot of you guys did not necessarily get a lot of the attention or a lot of the nurturing that you guys needed growing up. I feel like the adults around you that you looked up to, a lot of them kind of disappointed you, you know, especially if it was like your parents. Some of you guys could have had a parent that struggled with addiction or alcoholism or something along those lines. And it doesn't even have to be that intense. It could also be like an adult that threw themselves into work to the point where they had no time for you and no time for your family and the things that genuinely mattered. And a lot of those toxic patterns could have rolled over onto you in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands. So I feel like your inner child, you were very, very woke as a child. You were very, very smart. You had a lot of bright ideas and were just unsure of how to pursue them. And a lot of those ideas, you felt like you kind of had to walk away from your family or walk away from your home situation in order to pursue them. A lot of you as children, you might have thought about running away. or you might have even ran away as a child or even as a teenager, because you felt like you could not be successful with your family weighing you down or your home situation weighing you down. A very select few of you could have been in and out of foster homes. You could have had your fair share of like runarounds with CPS, being in and out of your home, even if you know, it wasn't necessary. Like, I feel like you guys had a lot of evil eye and a lot of targets on you and your family's back. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that intense, you guys, but if it was, I definitely don't want to downplay it. And I feel like you guys have definitely dealt with your fair share of your emotions, your feelings being downplayed. I do feel like a lot of you guys are healers, okay? And a lot of the healing that you can do, it's like you developed a lot of it from your childhood, okay? So we have this devil card, okay? This devil card and this 10 of swords. So I feel like somebody in your home, somebody in your household was out of control, okay? Did something very excessively. And like I said, it could be a substance, it could be alcohol, it could be work, okay? Whatever it was, it led to you being neglected and it led to you being defeated. A select few of you dealt with some abuse, okay? And I'm gonna have to probably put a trigger warning on this video, but if you are not okay with these topics, I'm just gonna let you guys know right now, you know, maybe this might not be the reading you want to watch. This may not be something that you want to talk about, but I do feel the need to kind of get this message out there. So a lot of you as children might have experienced abuse, whether it was mental abuse or physical abuse, okay? This 10 of swords, it kind of does, it can most definitely signify physical abuse. I feel like a message that your inner child kind of is having, is coming through, trying to say is along the lines of, why did they do this to me? I did not deserve this. I deserve a lot better. And I feel like it's like trying to say that the adults around you, the people who did this to you, they were wrong, okay? This was not the type of treatment that you deserved, and you were very well aware at that age that that type of behavior was wrong. And a lot of you guys might have thought that it was normal, but as you grew older and maybe you witnessed other people having loving connections with their kids, maybe you kind of wish that you had that, okay? Because somebody in your household was like overly material, okay? Overly material, like very much overly indulged in 3D things such as alcohol, such as drugs, maybe even such as possibly how do I say, possibly like sleeping around. You might have had people in and out of your house that just should not have been there, is like the overall message that I'm gonna say. I don't want to dwell on this for too long, but basically the overall message that's coming through for this is like that they were wrong. These are people that you were supposed to look up to, that people that you were supposed to be able to trust, that did not have the capacity to take care of you as a child, and it's very clear that you guys had to learn how to take care of yourself from a very young age. And you did, okay? You did. Honestly, like, I know that you guys might not think that you're perfect, but the way in which you bounce back, the way that you went from this to this, you guys are very, very powerful people, okay? And I fully encourage you to hold the people who wronged you as a child accountable for the ways in which they have treated you, okay? Because shit's gonna hit them like a ton of bricks if it hasn't already, okay? We have this Tower card here and this Temperance card. This is like the calm after the storm. So I feel like a lot of you guys might be in a better situation now that you're older, now that you are an adult. And for those of you who are still suffering and still struggling, it might help to go to therapy or to do something that is therapeutic. Because I know a lot of the times we just don't want therapy, you know, and I completely get it. But doing something that's therapeutic to you, that you didn't necessarily have to have the ability or the capability of doing when you were younger, like your inner child is like encouraging you to go after those things, to do those things, and is reminding you that the treatment that you experienced, whether physical or mental, emotional, spiritual, it was all wrong, and it's not how a child is supposed to be treated, okay? And For a select few of you, honestly, I personally do not condone physical discipline in any way, shape, or form, and I might lose followers for this. Quite frankly, I really don't give a fuck. You know, if you condone physical abuse or physical violence against children as a form of discipline, and, you know, you defend it with a, oh, I turned out okay. You know, a lot of people really do grow into very traumatized adults, and they don't necessarily turn out okay, you know. And so I just feel the need to like put that out there, that, you know, some of you guys might have experienced this and thought that it was normal and thought that it was okay, and it's not. Lastly, okay, I did get a couple other cards, you guys. This one says love is the reason. And honestly, like, the message that I got low-key was really triggering from this. You might have experienced abuse at the hands of somebody who said, this hurts me more than it hurts you, or I do these things because I love you. And I feel like, you know, your inner child kind of wants to come through and say, like, that's not love. While you guys might love unconditionally, those experiences that you had genuinely did not stem from love. This is not love. Okay, this devil card, this is not love, and it's not okay. Some of you guys might have really struggled with learning how to express your emotions because of some of the abuse that you dealt with. And it could be emotional abuse, you guys. It could just be, you know, you had a narcissistic parents, and I mean, I'm not downplaying that. You had a narcissistic parent that didn't know how to take care of their emotions or express their emotions healthily. So a lot of the shit that they were going through, they inflicted on you. And a lot of y'all might not know this. Like, you know, you might not necessarily know this. And some of you guys might think that you didn't have a choice when it comes to a lot of the stuff that you experienced. And you didn't as a child. But your inner child is like coming through and telling your adult self, like, we have a choice now. Okay, we have a choice now. We can end the cycle with us. Then the last card that we have here is you have more options than you realize. Okay, that message is very prominent. And so I feel like your inner child is kind of really coming through and saying, like, this stops with us. Like, we don't have to inflict this on anybody else. We don't have to repeat these experiences anymore. We can create a safe space for us, ourselves. So you're really being encouraged to be that adult, that person that you needed when you were younger. Okay. And some of you guys might really end up helping a lot of kids who are experiencing the same things, if you know that is something that you desire to do. So your inner child has some very specific messages that I channeled, and I wrote them down very sporadically as I was, you know, pulling these cards. So the messages that came through from your inner child: I will keep going. I do not want to be like them, and I will not be like them. I will stand up for myself. Okay, very powerful energy, you guys. I will stand up for myself. I do not have to pretend anymore. Very strong, very heavy. I can heal myself. They were wrong, and I will show them. I will hold them accountable. Okay, I will forgive, but I will not forget. And I do not deserve to be neglected. Okay, very powerful messages that came through from you guys. And, you know, these affirmations might genuinely help you even during difficult times where you are experiencing things as an adult, you know, like in your workplace or in your everyday life, you know, in your relationships. These are messages that are coming through very prominently, and a lot of the stuff that you guys might experience and a lot of the things that you might feel might really stem back from your inner child, might be triggered by a lot of these unhealed inner child wounds, you know. And so, like, I genuinely wish you guys the best, and just remember, like, you guys you didn't deserve being mistreated or neglected then, and you damn sure don't deserve it now. And you have every right to stand up for yourself, and you are 100% valid. Okay, so also, lastly, don't let anybody make you feel like you don't have a choice. Okay, that's very prominent, that you don't have a choice, because if you have a voice, you have a choice. Use that shit, you guys. So that's what I have for you guys for your healing messages from your inner child and for your inner child. So if you guys are interested in booking a personal tarot reading with me, you guys can book with me on my Etsy shop. The link to do so will be available down in the description box below, you guys. If you're feeling generous and would like to make a donation to my channel to help keep it growing, all of my payment information as well as my Amazon deck wish list is available down in the description box below as well. And lastly, if you're interested in the decks that we use for today's tarot reading, we did use the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck, as well as the Mystic Mondays tarot deck today, you guys. If you'd like to purchase one of these decks for yourself or any of the other decks I use on my channel, you can check out my Amazon affiliate link down below if you are interested in buying one for yourself. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye. Hello to all of my beautiful people who have chosen group number 3, and welcome to your reading, you guys. You guys chose the Start Where You Are card, and honestly, I'm just gonna keep it a stack with you guys. I feel like you guys are honestly my favorite pile. I feel like this is a pile that I genuinely do resonate with. So a message from your inner child. So I feel like as a child, you guys might have been a little bit more introverted, okay, and different, okay? So I'm getting an energy of you guys being different. You guys could be my neurodivergent kids that think a little bit differently. Some of you guys might have been diagnosed with ADHD, either as a child or an adult. Some of you guys might have autism or be on the spectrum, or just have some undiagnosed an undiagnosed mental condition that just makes you a little bit differently from everybody else. Like in some way, shape, or form, you guys are different, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be like mental, but like I just feel like, you know, you guys are different. There's something different about you guys, you know. And so we have this Hermit card in this 10 of Wands. So as children, I feel like you were left to deal with a lot of stuff by yourself. And you guys might have been the kids that enjoyed playing by yourself, uninterrupted. And a lot of people may not have necessarily understood that, whether it was your kid, like your peers around you, or like the adults around you, like your teachers and stuff like that. Some of them could have really failed you guys because they just didn't understand you. They didn't have the capacity to understand you. And there could have been, like I said, something undiagnosed going on, or they just didn't take the time to really get you guys, if that makes sense. So we have the Chariot reversed. So I feel like your inner child is really coming through and saying, like, they really messed with, like, not mess with me, but like they messed up when it came to me. Like they could have done a lot better. Like your inner child is really holding them accountable, okay? Because the thing about you guys is that you guys were very loving. You had a very warm spirit. I just feel like you guys expressed your love in a different way, a way that made you guys different. And that is 100% okay. Like you guys are 100% valid. And like I said, I feel like you guys were the kids that really wanted to play alone, that wanted to be left alone, okay? You didn't need to play with other people, although you were very selective with the ones that you did play with, okay? Like it was a privilege for people to be able to hang out with you on the playground, right? And some of you guys might not have even liked the playground. Some of you guys might have been the kids that wanted to sit inside or like read a book, or just do something away from other people. Some of you guys might have liked video games and kind of wanted to stay on video games like all day, every day, and you just didn't want anybody to bother you or disturb you. Like I'm getting the energy of somebody who is okay with being alone, even as a child, okay? And we have this Three of Swords reversed. So your inner child like had a very healing presence, okay, towards other people. And that might be why a lot of kids might have really came up to you and bothered you, because like you guys might be these light workers, okay? Your energy, your presence alone is very healing to other people. And the thing is, you were selective with who you gave your energy and your time to. So you might have gotten defensive, like, hey guys, leave me alone, I just want to be by myself, you know? And with the Wheel of Fortune, I just see like you guys were awesome, okay? The Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Wands, you guys were awesome. Some of you guys might have won a lot of games like effortlessly, or like had like kind of good luck in a lot of situations. Like you might have had quite a few lucky days. And a lot of people, I just feel like a lot of people genuinely didn't understand you, and you didn't care. Like you didn't need them to. And it just didn't feel right to care, if that makes sense, with how a lot of people felt about you or what they thought about you, because you were there to be yourself regardless. Okay. Also, start where you are. Like, that's kind of saying, like, you don't have to be perfect to start. You don't have to be perfect to try. Like, that is something that your inner child is coming through and saying. We also have convince yourself, not others. So your inner child, like I said, did not care what other people think. Okay, and they didn't need, like the back of the card says, the need to clarify, explain, or justify oneself is personal. In personal relationships is always self-serving. What's important is knowing the truth about why you felt the need to, because it often points to insecurities that could be dealt with in more effective ways. Okay, so like a lot of the time, I feel like you guys genuinely, like, that is something that you needed to, like, you know, maybe sometimes you tried to clarify yourself, or like you tried to express yourself or help people understand you, but then it came to a point where you might have gotten frustrated and didn't care because you didn't really need their validation, you know. And lastly, we have you're being watched by loving eyes. So your inner child wants you to know that you were iconic, okay? You were iconic because you were different, okay? And a lot more people than you might realize actually admired you. Some kids admired the fact that you were able to play alone, that you were able to play by yourself. And like, you guys were very smart. Like with the Hermit card, we have very strong Virgo energy. It could be Capricorn or Taurus. We also have very strong Cancer and Sagittarius energy. So y'all were fine with playing on your own, but the kids that did get to play with you were special to you. And they were also very likely different like you. Didn't care what other people thought, didn't need to care what other people thought. So honestly, I just feel like y'all were iconic on the playground. Some of y'all might have been very popular growing up, because oftentimes we tend to gravitate towards the things that we can't necessarily have. And like, you guys were very selective with who you allowed to have access to you. Rightfully so, you guys, rightfully so. So that is what I see. And lastly, I did channel some messages from your inner child, and I will say y'all had the most messages coming through, and it's just like y'all had to be different. Like, while I was trying to carefully tear it up, like tear out the page, it ripped anyways, you know. And like, it still works. Just because it's ripped doesn't mean it doesn't work, that I can't read it, you know, if that makes sense. Like, that was something that really came through. I was like, this pile just had to be different, you know. So some of the messages that came through, we have the word neurodivergent. So some of you guys just, y'all have a different thought process. You just operate a little differently from other people. We have I do things differently, and that is okay. We have I don't care what they think. I don't care what they think. I will do what I want. All I need is myself. I like to be alone. I want to play by myself. It's okay for me to be picky. Don't tell me what to do. Like, your inner child was a little feisty, but rightfully so. Beggars can be choosers. That just came through randomly, you guys. I don't even really know what that means. No, beggars can be choosers, and I have a right to choose. Okay, bodily autonomy, y'all. I am grateful in my own ways. Right? So some adults around you might have kind of written you off as like an ungrateful child or like a spoiled brat, but you did show gratitude. You just did it in a different way, if that makes sense. And you didn't like being in situations where you didn't have a choice. Okay, your independence was something that was very important to you, and likely still very much is very important to you. I don't have to be nice to mean people. Okay. Only cool people know I'm cool. I am not bad. You just don't understand me. That is awesome. Okay. You can never break me. Bullies are so stupid. Let me just do it myself. I am just different. I am the strongest person I know. No one can ever break me, and I deserve respect and love. Okay, so this is literally the longest list of channeled messages for the readings I did today. But honestly, I feel like overall your inner child is encouraging you like to be confident in yourself, okay? Because there was just this trust about you that you guys had in yourself that you guys really should continue to maintain. Also, I feel like with this 10 of Wands, I feel like something that your inner child needed to know or might have needed help understanding is that it's okay to ask for help, because a lot of stuff you felt like you could do it on your own, and you might have struggled here and there, but like you just like viewed it as, I can do it on my own, I can do it myself, you know, I don't necessarily need help. But your inner child needed to know that it's okay to ask for help, and you can be picky with who you just decide to ask for help from, you know. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope that that message resonated for you. If you guys are interested in booking a personal tarot reading with me, you guys can book with me on my Etsy shop. The link to do so will be available down in the description box below, you guys. If you're feeling generous and would like to make a tip or a donation to help keep my channel growing, all of my payment information as well as my Amazon deck wish list is also available down in the description box below, you guys. And lastly, if you're interested in the decks that we used for today's tarot reading, we did use the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection, and we also used the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck, you guys. So you guys can purchase either one of these decks or any of the other decks I use on my channel on my Amazon affiliate link down below. Be sure to check that out if that is something that you are interested in. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye.